Do you feel overwhelmed when you look at your growing to-do list and you know you're consistently pushing creating content to the bottom of your list? If you own a business, you know how important it is to create consistent content to not only grow your audience, but also sell out your offers. But truth be told, creating a content creation plan can seem a bit daunting when you're first starting out. That's why in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my top content creation hacks so you could streamline your entire system and save you tons of time in the process. In case you're new around here, my name is Steph Negrin and I help online business owners turn their followers into clients through the power of social media. So consider subscribing if you're interested in marketing, business tips for entrepreneurs, and also get notified every time we put out a new training every single Tuesday. Now, I could definitely relate to the feeling of dread when you are sitting down to create a new piece of content. I know for me, starting a social media agency, that was sort of expected. We had to create the content, the posting, curating all the images that would go on Instagram and on Facebook. So it got to be a little bit overwhelming, not to forget also the different niches that we worked with. So we had a real estate investor, a yoga studio, an e-commerce store, and they all have different needs. But what I found was that these top 4 hacks really saved my sanity during that time and really helped me streamline the entire process. So by the end of this video, you will have the exact 4 hacks that I use in order to streamline my entire process and not spend a whole lot of time doing so. So the first hack is what I call content planning. And this is something I do at the beginning of every single month so that I am prepared for the next 4 weeks ahead. And how I start off this process is by sitting down with my workflow document open and I review the brainstorming notes that I've created throughout that entire month and also on my reserves. So what I typically do during the month is I read articles, I see other content creators that are creating similar content to me and wanting to pull out some pieces that I could better elaborate on or provide my own twist to things. So I sit down and I plan my content around one central topic. And what that allows me to do is stay very focused on this one topic for the entire month to share why that topic is important, why my audience would be interested in learning that and how it would benefit them. Also some top strategies for me to share with them so they not only get an immediate transformation, but they also recognize me as an authority in that space. So content planning is a definite hack to just be set up in the future, not posting last minute things on Instagram based off your inspiration. You could certainly do that, but by having a content plan in place, you can not worry about those things in the future and just know that that system is already working for you in the far future. So that is content hack number 1. The next content hack is batching. Batching is a term that I did not coin. It's been around for quite some time and it refers to setting a specific day to do one action. And the reason why we do it in this way is to avoid the phenomenon known as context switching. And context switching is where your brain, if you continuously switch activities, it decreases the functionality of your brain. So when it could typically go at 50%, let's say, you focusing on writing a blog or focusing on talking on the phone or having a coaching call, all at the same time, it decreases your ability to do really well in just one thing. That's why the concept of multitasking is actually probably going to be phased out. What's really coming in and helping entrepreneurs stay on track is doing one single task at a time. So going back to batching, this helps out incredibly because if you, let's say, want to record all your videos in one sitting, you are decreasing the context switching and you're staying in that creative state of flow where you can just produce at your highest capacity. Whereas if you do, let's say, a video recording and then you take a coaching call and then you do another video recording, that's going to be a break in between your flow state and you definitely want to stay in flow as much as possible. So by setting designated days to do everything, it's just going to help you maximize the amount of time that you have. A perfect example right now is my recording day. I spent an entire day recording so far, just switching out outfits, and I already had all the scripts written because I had another batch day where I just sat down and wrote all the scripts, and then another batch day to plan out everything, all the headlines. So those are already 3 batch days that I had just to lead up to this point. Whereas if I was writing a script and then doing a video next week, it prones you to consistently be chasing your tail instead of proactively planning all of this out in advance. So I highly recommend you checking out batching as your new strategy. Hack number 3 is repurposing. Now this is probably one of my favorite actions to do because repurposing allows me to take this singular video that I'm recording and multiply it and cut it up into different micro pieces of content. I actually recorded an entire video walking you through how I did this for my social media client, Sean. So I will link that in the cards up above so that you can check that out. But essentially what that video will show you is how I took one video that he pre-recorded and turned it into an email, a messenger bot, social media post, YouTube caption, and so much more just by that one video. So if you want to check out how I did that, be sure to check up the cards so you can see how that process looks like. And essentially it helps me just multiply the work that we're doing. And the concept really came from doing very singular activities in different platforms and getting burnt out very quickly. I was writing a blog post and then doing a Facebook Live about that blog post, and then social media posts about something unrelated, and I was just finding myself being very burnt out in the process. But by taking a large long form piece of content, which is video in my scenario, I'm able to then cut it up into quote cards, shorter versions of that post, and also drive people through repurposing it for email or just downloading this and transcribing it for a blog. So it's very, very powerful to maximize your time spent on something by repurposing it and maximizing it on other platforms. So I highly, highly recommend checking out that video. And my last hack is outsourcing. So when I first started in my business, I was a solopreneur. I did everything myself. I would write the captions, source the photos, also schedule it on Buffer or whichever social media scheduler I was using at the time. And it was very, very time intensive. And I felt that I was always the bottleneck. I was always the one holding everything up because I did not outsource. And nowadays in my business, I don't do everything. I don't design the graphics. I have a graphic team. I don't edit these videos. I don't post on social media. I have a social media manager that does that for me. So by outsourcing, I'm able to get back into my zone of genius, which is creating the content, recording it because it is for my personal brand, and doing those high value activities, and then outsourcing everything else that could be done by a virtual assistant, and finding them on Upwork or Fiverr to do those activities for you. So I highly recommend buying back your time if you're available to do that in your business. If not, then the other tips will definitely help you streamline those activities so you're not spending all your time doing them and can get to the next project very, very quickly. Now that you know how to be very effective when creating your content workflow, I have a free gift for you. So I want to provide you the workflow document I reference and I'm also using for my clients so that it helps you stay in that creative workflow and stay really consistent on your posting schedule. So if you want to download that, the link will be in the description down below. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by liking this video, and also consider subscribing to get more videos on business and marketing tips to help you grow your online business. Also be sure to check out these videos over here so you can learn how to become a content boss yourself and grow your audience and sales in no time. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye for now.